Hi there, everyone. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you on today. It's the 22nd, going into the 23rd of October, 2013, and it seems like back-to-back typhoons it has been for the past month, actually since October 2nd. Every single one of my updates have started with typhoon, and well, this one is also starting with typhoon. Typhoon Francisco still pulling off here towards the northwest. We also have Okinawa. Both of these are actually going to approach pretty close to each other later on in the week, and we're going to start to see somewhat of a Fujiwara effect. But first, Francisco is going to start to impact the southern Japanese island. It already is doing so. We've actually seen some winds up to about 85 kilometers per hour reported here on Daito Jima, just towards the east of Okinawa. It looks like this island right here, you can see it on the satellite imagery, it's going to take the brunt of this storm, likely seeing sustained winds around 100, gusting up to 140 kilometers per hour here on Wednesday, as this storm just tracks right there towards the west of the island, putting the eye wall right in the right front quadrant there. So they're going to be seeing some pretty damaging winds out there. As far as Okinawa itself, though, I do think tropical storm strength winds are the possibility here. About 65 kilometer per hour winds, so sustained around 35, gusting up to 45 knots, or sustained 35 to 45, gusting up to about 55 knots. Very well likely. So it's going to be some pretty breezy conditions out here. Main impact, though, is going to be these large waves coming on shore. Daito Jima very well could see about 10-meter high waves. Not to mention the heavy rain showers that'll be coming from this storm system. Now, as far as Okinawa, though, I really do think the worst of the rains will likely be going into early Thursday morning, as the storm system, or basically Wednesday night into Thursday morning. But something's going to happen. Looks like there's going to be a lot of drier inflow flowing around the western periphery of Francisco here. And as that happened, that was from the GFS. ECMWF also picking up on this. It does look like the worst of the rain showers should remain offshore. You're still going to be seeing some scattered showers, some pretty decent gusty winds out here, but I don't think those sheets of rain that you typically see with a direct storm system is going to be seen here, just because of that dry air wrapping around it, much cooler air wrapping around it as our storm system starts to weaken and becomes extra tropical. But still, it is going to be some fairly rough conditions here going through Wednesday night into Thursday morning as Francisco lingers there just towards the east of the southern Japanese islands. Then you're going to start to see it pull off there towards the north. This is going to Thursday right around noontime just towards the east of Okinawa. Let's pull up the winds for the same time period. And what we are seeing is, well, sustained tropical storm strength winds basically throughout the day on Thursday, at least heading out to the afternoon hours. So it's going to be one of those days where I would recommend not to venture out to the beach at all. Definitely. I don't think anything destructive. I know that the T-cores are being put up in place here, and some areas towards the north could be seeing some winds sustained at around 50 knots, especially off there towards the Amani Islands. But those gusts, some of these stronger gusts, which we've already seen at Kadena upwards about 30 knots, that's going to be the main problem out here, not to mention some of those outer rain bands, which could produce some winds even stronger than that. Basically, starting it's Wednesday morning, you're going to continue to see these winds pick up there in the southern Japanese islands, really peak out Wednesday night through Thursday morning, but slowly taper off through the afternoon hours as our storm starts to turn towards the northeast. Now, as opposed to our track from this morning, this is well, this is the latest JMA track. I'll show you what the JMA was showing earlier, about 24 hours ago. Actually, this is just earlier, right around noontime here on Tuesday, and making landfall there around the Kii Peninsula and a little bit off there towards Tokyo. Well, a lot more confident in the fact that Okinawa is going to be having a direct impact on Francisco here in what we call the Fujiwara effect. And what that means is that when you get two tropical systems, especially when they have very significant intensity, within about 1,000 kilometers of each other, they start to interact with each other quite directly. And in this case, it does look like more often than not the bigger system starts to suck up the little system, or at least the little system starts to follow behind the bigger system. By the time Francisco tracks off there towards the northeast, it's going to start to get sheared off by an upper level trough, which is tracking in across Japan here. And actually, if we pull up the 300 millibar heights for the same time period here, you can see that strong jet stream dipping down. That's a killer of tropical systems. On the other hand, take a look at Okinawa over here towards Iwato. That's actually Okinawa right there in the upper levels, that area in blue, well away from that jet stream, and that means that it's not seeing the amount of vertical wind shear Francisco is going to be seeing. So, as Francisco does track off here towards the northeast, it's going to be weakening. Still bringing some heavy rain showers across much of Japan, just due to a stationary boundary setting up along the northern periphery of this, associated with that jet stream. So much of Japan is going to be seeing showers, but at this time, a landfall seems unlikely because Lakima's going to hook this and pull it off towards the northeast. Now, I know a lot of people are asking, let's take a look at this. Around this time period, we have a low pressure area developing, moving there across the Sea of Japan, hooking up with Francisco. Then Lakima comes in, and you got three storm systems kind of merging together. And I know a few people have asked me, is this going to mean a superstorm? Actually, quite the contrary. Usually the bigger storm sucks at the little storm. That's the true. But if anything, the three of these are just gonna steal each other's energy, and in the end weaken each other out. Actually, you can see right here in the center of circulation, it seems quite dry, and there's a lack of winds here because there's no pressure gradient. Just because instead of being one tight low pressure area, it's three loose, large low pressure areas. So you don't see a very tight gradient, which means lack of wins. So yeah, the three are going to be merging, but would you say the three are going to merge into a massive superstorm? No, movies got it all wrong, everybody. Actually, this is going to really decrease the intensity of all three systems. But at this time, though, the center of circulation should be staying offshore. Now, unfortunately, the heaviest of the rain showers at this time is going to be around the Key Peninsula and just on the northern periphery of our track. What that means is that much of the Izu Islands, including Oshima, is going to be battered by some pretty heavy rainfall. I know that they're already starting to evacuate some people out there. About 500 people have been evacuated, the disabled and the elderly, from Izu Oshima because they're just getting ready for the storm system as it tracks off there towards the northeast. Now, good news is not going to be this very strong typhoon intensity once it gets off there, but like I said, widespread rain showers, especially along the Pacific coast of Japan, is going to be expected here, about 1 to 200 millimeters of rainfall, not just from Francisco here, but also the stationary boundary, which you can already see starting to set up there along the northern periphery of it. That's going to be lingering there throughout the next several days, while Francisco's farther down here towards the south, just bringing persistent rain showers throughout the day on Wednesday, even off there towards Thursday, and then in the Friday until our storm system finally turns towards the northeast, and then Lakima comes off here and kind of drags it along as well. So a lot of stuff going on today, and yeah, I hope you've got all that information. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, though, please post them down in the comment box below, and as always, stay safe out there, everybody.